All right, so we're going to be identifying a few properties. Now, some of these you may be familiar with. Um, the two here, commutative, basically means that things are going to be done in the first thing that you're going to do in the problem is going to be the same thing, and it's going to give you the same answer. Okay. Basically, the order that we work through the problem is going to be the same. It's going to give you the same answer. Associative, you're going to work through the problem in a different order, but you're going to get the same answer. Okay, so I always had a little trouble remembering which one went with which, but until I had a teacher tell me a couple years ago, they said, oh, here's a trick. All right, so commutative sounds like community. All right, if you're in a community with some people, you're always in that community. Think of like your family. Your family doesn't change. Okay, so you got that same little family there that you're always communicating with. Okay, now we have people that we associate with. The people you associate with they do change. All right, so I don't know, might help you. The other one that we look at is distributive, and I think you probably already know that one. I'm not gonna put that in here, but you'll see a couple examples. All right, first thing I'm gonna do. So they're comparing these two sides. So they go 2 plus 3, 3 plus 2. You're still doing the exact same thing first. Okay, so that is commutative. All right. If I look at this side of the equation, 7 plus 3 is in parentheses. That's what I would do first. Over here, 3 plus 8. That'd be the thing I do first, okay? Now, again, you want to look at the whole thing to see that it gives you the same answer. These aren't trick questions, though, but test might have it. So technically, 7 plus 3 plus 8 is going to be the same thing as 3 plus 8 plus 7, okay? But it is done in a different order, so that's associative. All right, 9 times 7 is coming first. 7 times 1 is coming first, associative. Because they change the order that we're doing this in. They changed who they're associating with first. All right, 4 times 1, same as 1 times 4. That's the first thing you do on both of them. You're going to get the same answer, commutative. All right, so this one's a weird looking one. Okay, this actually got me on the last video, which is why I made another one. All right, so as you can see, the numbers have changed. Okay, so with commutative and associative, the numbers will all be the same. So this should tip us off that something's a little different. Okay, so now normally I would do 8 minus 6 8 minus 2 and get 6, multiply that by 9. Okay, but here, because this is a weird one, we're just identifying what we could do, okay, of these problems. This actually is distributive. So remember, when you have a number next to another number in parentheses, it's multiplication. Now, they were nice enough to give us the little multiplication sign. So this would be 9 times 8. If I were to distribute this, it would be 9 times 8, which is the same as over here, 9 times 8, and then minus 9 times 2. So this is the distributive property. All right, and I'm just going to go until I get to an identity one, just so I can show you that real quick. So this is commutative. This is associative because they've kind of switched the order. All the numbers are the same, though. All the signs are the same, multiplication. All right, commutative. All right, here's an identity. So identity is basically when you start with something and add, you can either add 0, which doesn't change it, or multiply it by 1. So if they take D and multiply it by 1, it's still D. If you took D and you added 0, it would still be D. So that's identity. All right, so I'm going to go to the next set of properties. All right, these can be real basic as far as like their definitions, but they when to use them can be a little confusing. So in this problem, we've been talking about this kind of stuff. If you have 2x plus 5 equals 21 and you need to get x by itself, you've got to get rid of stuff in reverse order of operations. So you need to subtract 5 from both sides. Okay, and that's just called the subtraction property. Okay, then if I need to use division to undo this too, that would be the division property. All right, so if you ever had to undo subtraction, that would be the addition property. Okay, and I got another one down here real quick. So this one, the first step again would be the same. You have to get rid of this 7. So you'd use the subtraction property because that gets rid of addition. And this is division, so you get rid of division with the multiplication property. Okay. So, let me go to just the topic that you're going to do here. So this one is, I believe, W5, 8th grade. Okay. Now this one's not going to require you to know what's happening. You just need to identify what has changed. So the problem originally looked like this, and now it looks like this. So what property has changed here? Okay. So you can look at either side if you want. So basically, if you see, both sides have been multiplied by k, because neither one of them had a k, and that's the property that's been used. So this is multiplication. I'm not going to do many of these. Okay, what's different? Both sides. So here you had negative 31, now you have r times 31. So the new thing is it's being multiplied by r. So that, again, is the multiplication property. All right, so you originally had, okay, I'm just going to look at the right side over here because they're doing the same thing to both sides. Okay, that's kind of why they call it the property of equality, because they are still equal. So t, now it's t over u, so that's division. Okay. I'll do one more. All right, well, that was division, same thing. See if I can find one with some addition or subtraction. No, another multiplication. No, division. Come on. That's what's new. Oh, still division. What's new is being divided by W. All right, I think you'll figure it out, even though I seem to not be getting any. If all of a sudden you get a new part and it says +1 or sorry, plus like a letter or anything like that, or minus the, you're using the addition or the subtraction. All right, last one, and this one is definitely the most difficult. Yeah, so it requires you to have a pretty decent understanding of this. Sorry, we're not doing W5, we're doing V14. And don't let the fact that it's in 7th grade throw you off. Oh wait, no, it is in 8th grade. V14, 8th grade. All right, so it wants you to take these numbers and do the commutative property, which means that the first thing that you do needs to be the same. So the first thing they would have done here would have been 8 plus 4x. So now we wouldn't be able to combine that. So really it's just going to switch. So now it's going to be 4x plus 8. And now they say, hey, we want you to add. And you add what you could. So 4x can't be combined with the rest of this, but 8 plus 1 gives you 9. All right. So they want you to perform the associative property. This is kind of a weird looking one. In this problem, technically, the first thing you do is in parentheses. We follow order of operation. Okay, so PEMDAS, you would be doing 3 times t. Okay, we don't want to be doing 3 times t first anymore because we want to do associative. So what can we change? They want to change the order. So instead of multiplying 3 times t, we can multiply 4 times 3. That changes the order. Okay. Now they also want us to multiply. 4 times 3 gives us 12. What? No, 23. All right, they want us to distribute. This is another weird looking one. So 9 times 8d, and then you would be doing 9 times 7. So you're gonna put the 9 in there, and you're gonna go ahead and multiply. Okay. And I'll do maybe one more depending on its level. Okay, and this one they're just gonna have you choose. All right, so what has happened here? All right, so 8s plus 8 was the first thing. Now it's the first thing they're having us do is 8 plus 8. So which property is that? That would be the associated property because we've changed who we're associating with. So associated property, and you just need to say if you're using addition or multiplication, that's all that means. So in this problem, we're using addition. So, all right, I'll do one more. All right, so this one, you're doing the same thing first, 7z plus 4, sorry, 7z times 4, 4 times 7z. So since it's multiplication, I know I'm using multiplication, and I'm still doing the same thing in the same order, so commutative. All right. Oh, and I should probably do this one just so you see here. So they factored it out, don't worry about that. And so this is which property? So it looks like, so they